This is Annamarie, one of your youth librarians at Westerville Public Library, excited to bring you another week of play and learn activities. So this week, we are going to be talking about 5 simple activities you can do with tape. All of these should keep your little one engaged for a little while, and actually after making them, most of these may only require mild supervision, so they may give you a few minutes of time to catch up on whatever you need to catch up on, while also engaging your little one and helping them build fine and gross motor skills. So, first thing is one of my favorites. I share this a lot. It's taped toys. So I have masking tape and I have painter's tape here. Really, you could use any kind of tape. Wouldn't necessarily suggest like shipping tape because that tends to be very sticky and harder to peel. It also might peel paint off of the toys that you have. I have a cookie sheet as the item that I am taping the items to. I have used storage bin lids. I have used large like dry erase boards that we have at the library. If you trust your little ones and your tape, you could use a wall. You could use a big piece of cardboard, whatever works for you. So I've got my sheet. I've got some baby safe toys. Often for this, it can be most exciting for your little one if it's toys that they are very familiar with, because then they might be very frustrated they can't access them, and it might keep them engaged a little longer. So I am just taking tape, making some nice long strips, and taping down those items that I have. So this cookie sheet isn't that large, so I'm not going to fit that many of the items that I pulled. Another fun way to brand this, if your child has a lot of toy animals or toy dinosaurs, is suddenly they're on a rescue mission to save all of those creatures. So, pretty simple, might take you about 5 minutes, and keeps them occupied as they work those finger muscles to pull those items off of the cookie sheet. So, tape toys. If you don't want to use your toys, or you are just looking for something a little different, you can, new cookie sheet, just put down strips of tape. This can be particularly fun if you have different colors of tape, so like washi tape can be great for this. Again, you don't necessarily, especially for this, want something that's too sticky, but if you have different colors of like painter's tape, or I know there's like a frog tape out there, all kinds of different things. Tape some strips, again, to whatever your sheet is, and your little one is challenged with peeling that tape off. So that helps them build those fine motor skills in their fingers. If you have a couple kids, you could make them race on who can peel the tape the fastest and get all of the tape off of the sheet. So peeling tape that way is another option. Another thing I can't really show here, but a third way to play with tape that really focuses on those gross motor skills is to make these big strips on the floor. So you could make a zigzag pattern. You could make, let's see if I can even peel my tape off here to sort of show what I'm talking about. You could make a zigzag, you can make some straight lines, you can make some interesting patterns on the floor of your house, like on a tile, and have your little one try to walk along them like a balance beam. So those practice gross motor skills. You can use tape in all kinds of different ways. You can tape down your own hopscotch course inside, but even just that simple long-lined walking helps them practice balance and gross motor skills. So that's 3. Number 4 is another one of my favorites, and normally if you have a bigger space, this works really well. So I'm going to do it on a cookie sheet, but most of the time when I've seen this be a lot of fun, it's like on a full floor space. And also, this could involve the whole family in a whole setup and cleanup process. So this involves building a tape city. You're really just building the roads, but you can use your tape to make streets for toy cars, like Hot Wheel cars, to drive around. So you and your little one, you could make stop signs, you could make little building markers so that they know where to go. You can do whatever you are thinking might work best with whatever will keep your little one engaged. You and your little one could both have a roll of tape, especially if you have an older little one, like a preschooler or even a lower elementary school student, may really enjoy building that taped road city. This is a very small version of this, but you have a rough pattern of roads. I have a toy car. And then they can try to practice, especially those older ones, getting their car from a place on your Taped City map, like school to home, or to the grocery store, or wherever else you want to take your little car. So Taped City, you could do that on a small surface, but I'd really recommend a big floor. And finally, our last one is one that can look a little dirty pretty quickly, but can be a lot of fun, especially for the very youngest ones, so those babies. So, this is gonna get loud. I am making a tape ball. We are just gonna crumple that tape, and we are going to try to make sure that the sticky side is always face out. And you can make this as big as you'd like. My masking tape is not being super cooperative in addition to being very loud today, but you can make a pretty substantial tape ball. It can get pretty big, much bigger than where I'm going to stop, which is right about here, and it gives them something different to explore. So these can get, especially if they end up on the floor, they can get pretty messy. If you make it large enough, it's no longer a choking hazard. So especially for your tiniest babies, I would go maybe twice as big as what I have here. But even for your very littlest ones, they will become very curious that this won't come off their hand easily, or their foot, wherever their attention might be. So even for those smallest of infants, this can be a great way to explore a different texture and just sort of see a common object in the world in a slightly different way. So 5 tape activities this week. We have the Stellar Taped Toys, where you tape those toys down so the little ones have to peel the tape to get them off. We have both tape peeling, so you can just put tape on a surface and have little ones try to use those finger muscles to peel it off, as well as walking along those tape lines on a floor, so a much bigger environment. You can make a tape city, where you can drive little cars all around and make it a whole family affair. And you can make tape balls, which are interesting for all ages, but especially for those youngest ones.